What is up, Packers fans, and welcome back to the Daily Draft, brought to you by Brewski Light Lager from Badger State Brewing in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the best can in Wisconsin. There's going to be so much fun stuff going on right there at Badger State Draft Weekend. Go check it out. I will certainly be milling around. I am the host of this show and the publisher of Packer Report, Ross Uglem, and it is Mock Draft Monday. You guys know the format. We've got it back down to a science here. We're going to go through a seven round mock draft. Probably going to quit. I'll maybe check and see who they took in round 5. Guys, I'm still only at about 125 guys that I've watched and graded and have at least an initial grade on. So I'm not going to pretend to go into round 7 knowing what I'm talking about. I try my very best with what I've got going on in my personal life and the business I'm trying to get off the ground. I'm not going to fake it. Okay, I'm not going to not talk about guys that I haven't watched. I'm not going to talk about guys that I don't know anything about. Right now, I've got my list, so I'm not getting into round 5, round 6, round 7 yet. Okay, it's February. I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that I am. Okay, we're going to look at this 7-round mock draft from Pro Football Network, and we're going to see it for the very first time together. Then we'll go back to our old friends at PFF and use their mock draft. So I think we used a different one last time. I tried Pro Football Network's next week. Or a different one. I think we've used FanSpeak and we've used PFF here on Mock Draft Monday, but it's always good to kind of shake things up. Okay, here we go. All right. I always like to slow down a little bit here, find out who kind of just went in front of the Packers and would it make us sad. So Jalen Walker, I think he's kind of a Quay, Edge Cooper type player. I don't think Green Bay would be looking to add him, so that's okay. You'd be really pleased with somebody taking Colston Loveland right in front of Green Bay. Luther Burden would hurt a little bit if you were, I think Luther Burden's a top 10, 12 player in this class, so that would sting for me. But if you're in and right here, man, if you're in the camp that doesn't think the Packers are going to take a receiver in round 1 anyway, you'd love to see Burden and Golden go. So this would be a pretty nice little run. Linebacker they don't need, tight end they don't need, wide receiver they're not going to take anyway, wide receiver they're not going to take anyway. To lead you to Benjamin Morrison, I would love this pick for Green Bay. I would. I think Benjamin Morrison has some very serious injury concerns, but that's about it. If he was completely healthy, I know he'll do that, especially with what Green Bay has just gone through with Jair Alexander. Real serious injury concerns are serious. Guys, if Benjamin Morrison had a clean bill of health, he'd be a top 10 pick. Period. In fact, I think this is exactly what this guy's saying on the screen. He's a top 10 talent to me. We already did a prospect primer on this kid. He is unbelievable. And for them to be able to get him at 23, if they can keep him healthy, I think he's a really, really, really good football player. Okay, moving down to Green Bay's next pick. This is a super Packersy pick. I like what's going on here. Who's my guy with PFN? God, they don't do a great job at PFN. Ben Rolfe, Rolfe, maybe here up in the URL. They don't do a great job always at PFN with letting us know who wrote it. But Trey Harris fits what they're doing. I mean, we'll see on the testing, but as far as height, weight, and productivity, which people will tell Packers, say the Packers are traits, athleticism. They care a lot about production at receiver, a ton. Go look at the numbers for Greg Jennings. Go look at the numbers for James Jones, Jordy Nelson. These guys were incredibly, incredibly productive. The one exception sort of is Christian Watson, and Christian came from an extremely run-heavy offense and for a team that basically didn't lose. And so his percentage of the opportunities were high enough for Green Bay to go on. He's playing at a video game college at North Dakota State, especially during his time there, winning the national championship every year and an average margin of victory of like 33. But man, you go to James Jones, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, down the list, they love college production at the wide receiver level. Trey Harris has it. He also has the height and weight that they're looking for. We'll see how he tests. But I think Trey Harris full miss is a very, very Packersy pick, and I like this draft so far, taking 2 big-time needs and hitting on good players. Maybe not great players, although I do think Benjamin Morrison has a chance to be great. but really, really good players at positions of need. I like what's going on here so far. Gillot, so he's interesting, but he is big enough, right? Like I don't know how much I love him at 87, but he fits what they do generally in the top 100 from a weight perspective. Maybe not though from a height perspective because I think he's only 6'3". They can't reduce him inside. He has to play the edge for Green Bay. But he's got the thickness at 275. He's got the weight. That's not a terrible pick. They need another pass rusher. I think he's at least interesting, but he's weird shape. Like he might be a 5 or a 3 at the NFL, and the Packers don't need one of those and won't probably take one in this draft. Or at least if they do, it's going to be a true defensive tackle and not a tweener. And I think that Ashton is a tweener if he's not just going to sit out there on the edge. I love that pick. This is a great draft. Boss is awesome. He's a really, really good pass defending linebacker, which they don't have. He's a little undersized, so you'd want kind of a glass eater somewhere, right? If you're going to lose Eric Wilson and Isaiah McDuffie, you'd want like a real Mike type dude to go with him and Bossa and Quay and Edge Cooper. You'd want somebody that's probably like 6'3", 240 and likes to take on lead blocks. But he'd be an awesome 4th-round pick. Good job to this guy. I love this mock. Hell yeah. All right. Let's see if we can do any better. Let's see if we can do any better ourselves. Yeah, that was a great job. That was a great job by somebody, you know, especially you get into the national guys and they don't necessarily know, nor should they, all of Green Bay's like preferences. And other than that Ashton Gillot being potentially not tall enough, I mean, he was nailing it, right? Benjamin Morrison's going to hit what they want. Trey Harris certainly does. And then I love that. I love Bossa. I love that Oregon linebacker. He's freaking good. He's fun. Just setting up the Packers mock draft simulator here. Okay. Hey, here we go. You know what? Let's talk about the people who can't see that well. There we go. There we go, guys. Centering out our sliders. Making the screen big. Look at that. Everybody says the screen's so small, tough to see. Not today. Not today. Let's roll. I think we might. Okay, no trades available. Okay. So we've been going pretty heavy up front lately. I'm going to go corner this time, and I'm going to take my favorite pick. This is my Cooper DeJean pick for the Packers this year, and that is Jahdae Barron. Love him a lot. And yeah, I get that. Thank you. That's helpful. Oh, no. I screwed up. We'll have to go back, guys. We'll try to get Jahdae again. I'm sorry. 5 rounds. That's my fault. Center the sliders. This is great for you poor people on the podcast. I only got to make one pick. I promise if Barron is available again, we'll take him. And he is. Okay. Same thing. Sorry, guys. Boy, that's Hyde for Schwesinger. That's that tall corner stuff that scares me. Caleb Johnson would be interesting. Derek Harmon is sweet, but he's more of a 3-tech, and it's not really what they need. Maybe I'm thinking of Birch. Yeah, still not really what they need. He's kind of what they need. You know what, though, guys? I think this is just such an easy pick. Jaden Higgins, Iowa State. I think that's so close to what they need and where they'll be picking. I just love that pick. So we're going to need to get big with this choice. I don't think that Mbao is a crazy pick there. Well, if I would have known I could have gotten Trey Harris in round 3, I certainly wouldn't have taken Higgins in round 2, but that's okay. That's not really how the draft works. What are my options at defensive tackle? That's probably what I'd like to do here. You guys have got me. I zoomed in so far, this becomes difficult to use. I'm sorry. There we go. I like this kid. And I think he has the actual girth to play nose tackle. So we'll do that. Going to be sniffing around another defensive back or potentially another linebacker. No, we're doubling up at corner. This will allow us to play Barron inside. Now we'll sniff around the linebacker unit. I hope maybe my guy from the Gophers is still around. That kid rules. Heck yeah, Lindenberg. Heck yeah, I love this one. This one went really well. This draft went really well from my perspective. I would enjoy this one a lot. You're hopeful, I guess, that you address the interior offensive line, like the center position in free agency. Potentially also address wide receiver in free agency. But in general, I think Jordan Phillips has the ability to play inside, and to get Noel Williams and Jahdae Barron. That's huge, man. While also grabbing Lindenberg and Higgins, who I like Lindenberg probably quite a bit more than the PFF does. But I really like the way this one turned out. I like the 7-round mocks the guys at PFN did. I like this one. This was a great mock draft Monday. Guys, buy the guide. Goodness gracious, buy the guide. Use code DAILY. There should be a link to the guide in the description here. We will also start linking the guide in the Packer Report post that accompanies this video. Do everything you're supposed to do here on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube channel. And by golly, drink Badger State beer. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Go Pack, go.